This week, Gracefully and Frankly will be talking about one solution for pain, and I'd like to remind you, though, of another that travels well and won't get you in trouble like our story ahead. Sierra Sil, all-natural mineral capsules that have been specially formulated for knee and other joint pain. Try Sierra Sil. With their money-back guarantee, you have nothing to lose but the pain and no hassles at airport security.
Isn't that the truth? Sierra Sil, check them out online, Sierra, like the mountains, SIL.com. Read about the products, see them all, and make a purchase with 10% off using the code GF.
Well, we hit a new high on this week's G&F, and you're going to be along for the ride. Me and gummies, not a good combination, as it turns out. Oh, my God, Lisa.
Yes, she's Erin Davis. I'm Lisa Brandt. This is Gracefully and Frankly, and boy, oh boy, a cautionary tale if ever there was one.
And a couple of real-life CBD prescription scares you're going to hear about. One that happened to a friend of mine and could have you packing extremely carefully.
Yeah. Pantone's color of the year. Oh, that's in another language. In English, it's Mocha Mousse. And so we'll discuss it and why it's so much ado about nothing or brown.
Seems like it. There's something called the ugly rule.
Hey! I'm right here.
I almost said it has to do with your decorating, meaning you as in general. But I mean, it has to do with one's decorating, and we're going to explore the ugly rule. I'll bet people are already doing it without even knowing it.
Probably. Another word of the year from Merriam-Webster. This one has probably more meaning for us right now than the other words that we've looked at in the last couple of weeks. We'll tell you what it is.
All right, we've got all that ahead. Hey, why don't we start with an email today? Do you want to do that?
Sure. So our email is very active. It's gracefullyfrankly@gmail.com. This one comes from Cheryl Lynn in Saint-Hubert, Montreal, and she says, Dear Erin and Lisa, no favorites, just alphabetical order. You're both my faves. Each time I listen to your podcast and you mention Dateline, yes, Erin, such a fan, I keep kicking myself for forgetting to mention this to you. All the episodes are on Prime Video. I used to struggle to choose on Thursdays between Law and Order or new shows like Matlock. But then I saw on Prime Video they have City TV Live. You can catch it a few hours later on the Edmonton channel or the following day. So I watch Law and Order at my leisure and just love the new series, The Irrational and Brilliant Minds. I'm a counselor and can never get enough of shows regarding our intriguing brains. And she says she subscribes to City TV, $4.59 a month. This is not an ad for City TV, but it's a great way to see these shows if you love them. She says as far as Gracefully and Frankly goes, she saves it for when she goes out for a walk because she struggles with chronic pain and listening to us and laughing out loud makes her feel better.
Oh, that's so wonderful. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for that. And, oh, Lisa, can I take a second because we've talked about different shows and how to watch them?
Yes.
On Netflix, there is a movie starring the amazing Olivia Colman, who played Queen Elizabeth. It's called Wicked Little Letters, and it's set right after the First World War in a small English town. And this very pious, upstanding citizen of the town, a quote-unquote spinster lady who's played by Olivia Colman, starts getting these filthy letters handwritten calling her everything under the sun. And these are words that are so creatively used but absolutely make no sense at the same time. It goes all the way up to Parliament. I won't tell you any more about it except that lots and lots of dirty words. But it's a delightfully funny, sweet movie, and it's called Wicked Little Letters on Netflix, and it's so good. I'm just telling everybody about it.
Oh, awesome.
I even think Derek will like it.
Well, we always need new recommendations. There's so much out there that we get lost. So, like The Sticky, you and I both watched The Sticky on Prime Video. Again, so much swearing.
Yes.
But a fun little show. Okay, Wicked Little Letters. All right.
Wicked Little Letters and The Sticky, a very fictitious version of the great Canadian maple syrup heist. And Jamie Lee Curtis is behind it, and she has sort of a cameo role in it as a baddie. But Margot Martindale is one of the stars. And what's so fascinating I found about this, Lisa, was that it was shot in Quebec and how fluidly all of the cast just goes from English to French and French to English in the middle of sentences. I loved it.
You know what else I noticed is that, because I say syrup, and I know a lot of people say syrup, and they use both in the show, too.
Seriously? Oh, yes. Okay.
I thought that was kind of funny that different people say it different ways. So.
And it is dirty language and all that. That's so prurient saying dirty. But okay, so it's bad language. There's nobody flashy or glitzy in the cast. You can smell the spring day when they're shooting outside. It's fun to watch.
Yeah.
So we've got The Sticky. It's about, 6 episodes or something, Lisa? And they're half hour each. Yeah. And then the movie Wicked Little Letters, which I just loved. But that was a lovely little letter to get back to that email. And we so appreciate that. And a lot of our messages usually involve envy pillows. So that's always kind of nice, too.
Yeah, I've just got another one 3 hours ago from someone saying, I'm so excited. My envy pillow is on its way. I can't wait to try it. And the envy pillow has a special ergonomic shape, the way it holds your head. You're not squishing your face. And for me, it's all about keeping the neck supported and out of pain. And it's just such a wonderful company, Kathy and Kim at Envy Pillow. They're just a small business. They're not some giant memory foam conglomerate. They don't even use memory foam. They use all sustainable materials. They really care that you love this pillow. So please take a look at their website and see if it's right for you.
Go to Envy Pillow, ENVY pillow.com. Don't accept cheap imitations. And there are so many cheap pillows out there. You're worth more than that. Envypillow.com. Use the code GF and get 10% off. Well, that was weird.
What? You're fine. That's the most important thing.
I think so. I had to have Rob help me set up my tech this morning for this, and that doesn't happen because you pretty much do it as muscle memory by now. But yeah, so your friend took a little trip last night. I tried CBD gummies, and I'll explain that it was for medicinal reasons, but it really went sideways.
Well, CBD doesn't have any THC anyway, or it's very negligible, so you can't really get high from it anyway. So you took it for pain, right?
Yes. Okay. So, we talk about Sierra Sil for joint pain, and I have tried it for this particular nerve pain, and it's not effective for me. And it's a hangover from when I had, if you've listened long enough, you know this story. I had breast implants and they were submuscular. I thought, I'm going to be so smart. I'm not going to let anything get in the way of mammograms. And I think it was in the actual implantation that the doctor did some nerve damage. So I got them removed, I got them replaced, and finally just taken out altogether. But guess what? The nerve pain goes on. And it's like an electric worm going from the underarm to basically the nipple.
Oh.
And it varies in intensity. And sometimes I can just put an ice pack directly on my skin, which is not good. But sometimes I can do that to numb it. But yesterday there was no numbing it. And I had Tylenol 3s in the house. And I tried those icy cold lidocaine patches. I tried those. I tried the roll-on stuff. Nothing worked. So at last, I contacted my sister who has taken CBD to help her sleep. And I said, okay, what do you take? Because I've got to get a good night's sleep. Lisa and I are doing Gracefully and Frankly tomorrow, and the show must go on.
Oh, yeah.
So dutifully, Rob, you really only have to drive about a block or two anywhere in Canada or the U.S. to find a dispensary of any kind. So we did our research. He went out and brought home some gummies that were for sleeping and some that were for pain. And I got very specific instructions to have half of each one. And I did. So about a half hour in, I'm starting to feel pretty woozy. And I said to Rob, I think I'm ready to go to bed. And it's like 9:30.
What are you, me?
Yeah, exactly. So I got up, I walked around a little bit, made sure I was okay, did a few dishes that were left from dinner, and then all of a sudden, Lisa, I started to feel this darkness coming over me, not in a mood, it's not like stay away from the knives. It was like I was going dark from the shoulders up to my head. I was seeing black sparks everywhere, static, static, static. And I said to Rob, I think I'm going to pass out. And so he came over and he held me. I swore it was for about half an hour because I went off into this dream and it involved men on horseback in fancy dress. Don't even ask. It felt like half an hour. And he said it was 5 seconds.
And that's without THC. Wow.
I don't know if it was. All right, I've got them right here. And guess what? One of them does have THC in it.
Well, then it's not a CBD gummy. You got one CBD and one pot gummy.
Oh, I guess so. The pot gummy is 100 milligrams of THC, and I took half of one.
That's a lot.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Are you telling me?
A lot. Yeah. So
you're telling me.
For somebody who doesn't take it and isn't building up an immunity to it or anything, you took quite a bit. Yeah.
I did, eh? Okay. Well, yeah, I would say I did. So Rob walked me to the bathroom because I had to sit down right away. And then I just put my head on my knees and went to bed. And then I just kind of laid there. Didn't notice any more pain. Can I say that what I was taking it for, pain relief or to forget about the pain? And Rob said, how is Lefty? And I said, I don't know. Who cares? So that's my story. So you say it was a lot, eh?
Well, just for first time, I mean, when I had my experience a year and a half ago or whatever, where I took too much and they call it greening out, I had taken about that amount. And again, this isn't something I usually take at all.
Yeah.
I don't smoke pot. I don't do any of that stuff. So when your body isn't used to it, it's a pretty big deal. But the other thing was I didn't get my gummy from a store. I got it from a neighbor who had a guy make it in ice cube trays or whatever. So you don't know if it's evenly distributed. So I could have had tons more. But I guess it's a cautionary tale that
yes,
this stuff is everywhere and it's legal and we are allowed to take it. And I don't think the CBD was the problem. I think it was the pot gummy.
Okay, well, I think you're right. Let me tell you some surprises. It comes in a little resealable package.
Yep.
Kind of like those sugar-free candies you can buy at the checkout. And there were only 5 of them in the package. I thought it was going to be like when you go to the bulk barn and you get a bag full of gummy bears. I don't know what to expect here, but they're kind of like those nice little fruit gummies you get that are coated in sugar and much thinner. And they have a line down the middle or diagonally where you just kind of figure out where the half is. But I think maybe a quarter is my friend in the future, if at all. And I don't think I'll ever do it alone.
It was expensive because here that many would cost you probably $40 or $50.
Oh my gosh. Well, these 3 packages, and if you bought 2, you got a third for free. So thanks, America. We are in California, in case you've missed any episodes, in Cathedral City. These were 3 for about $15. Wow, what a difference.
It is a big difference. But the other thing is, it's probably a private company. Here, everything has to go through the government, even if it's made by a private company. So I'm sure there's taxes and other things on top here as well.
Oh, I'm sure. But hey, when we become the 51st state, Lisa, we're not going there, right? Or I'm going to need more gummies.
No, I don't think you should listen to any more news. We're not going to be the 51st state. It's not going to happen. You don't have to buy your Handmaid's Tale bonnet either. It's just...
You really believe that, eh? Even though Numpty down there is saying that Trudeau is the governor of the 51st state. What is he even thinking?
He's a blowhard who just wants attention. And I, for one, don't want to give it to him.
A moratorium on the moron. I agree.
It's So you're going to put these away for now and maybe try smaller amounts?
If I need, yeah. Lefty's better today. So all I needed was a lot of rest and not being on devices or editing or doing anything that keeps my left arm really active. So I just have to watch for my triggers and be more careful about that.
Well, we were reading this week, you and I both saw this story. I mean, everybody talks about CBD and taking this derived from marijuana stuff, and it's in all forms. This 64-year-old man from Mississauga traveled to Dubai in July on business.
Oh, this is an incredible story.
He was heading to South Africa to meet some colleagues, right? And he had CBD products in his luggage. It's the only thing that works for his Addison's disease. He's in a lot of pain. Long story short, they found the amount and added it up. It was a bunch of little products, but they added it up, and he's been sentenced to life in prison and a $190,000 fine. And you think, wait a minute, this guy's from Mississauga. CBD's legal here. Well, it's not in Dubai. So they're treating him like a drug trafficker. And it was only 118 grams of this stuff. And he's getting sicker and sicker. His wife was worried about him. And this is my question. So you get your CBD gummies, Erin, and you decide to go to someplace where it's not legal. So then what?
You just simply don't. Well, in the case of my friend Nancy, who I mentioned a few weeks ago, came back from Portugal in context of another story altogether, she had a nightmare. Now, she has CBD cream. She gets migraines, and it works on her temples, and she has some for her knee because she's awaiting surgery or just trying to stave it off. She's in a lot of pain a lot of time. So knowing that CBD is legal in Canada and legal in Portugal, she took it with her on her trip. Everything was fine until she came back. Now, there was a form to fill out which said, do you have any of this or this or this? And she paused and thought for a moment and said, yeah, I do. Well, when she got to Vancouver, she and her husband were pulled aside, put in a room with a lot of people who she described as being caught driving 150 in a 30, that kind of look.
Yeah.
And was treated in a criminal manner because the person intaking the information said, and what drugs are you importing? And she went, wait, I'm not importing. I've got a prescription for this from my doctor. I can prove to you it's a legit doctor and not some feel-good at the corner dispensary. And it's legal here and legal in Portugal. Well, because of all this, the guy said, well, I'm going to need to get it out of your hand luggage, give it over. And she said, no, it's in my luggage, which is now being loaded onto a smaller plane to get to Victoria, the last 7-minute leg of the journey home. And he very kindly said, I'm going to let you off this time with a warning. But just imagine somebody our age getting pulled aside like this, treated like a criminal. Well, Nancy was so confused, she wrote to 3 levels of government and just heard back on Monday from Health Canada. So can I share with you what they said to her? Because her big question was, what the hell?
Yeah, it's legal. So what's the big deal?
Well, according to somebody in the office of the Honorable Mark Holland, Minister of Health, here's some information you might find useful if you travel again. The legalization of cannabis in Canada does not change Canada's border rules. Taking cannabis or any product containing cannabis, that is your creams, your sprays, your gummies, your whatever, they didn't say that, I did, remains illegal and can result in serious criminal penalties both at home and abroad. Okay? So that's the final word. You can get an exemption if you apply. That's the way it goes, I guess. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I guess as travelers, we are responsible to know rather than make assumptions that seem obvious.
It still just doesn't make any sense. And so is she supposed to leave it at home?
Yes.
That's terrible. How's she supposed to endure the pain she's got? And this guy, the guy who's in jail for life now in Dubai, hopefully the government will intervene, but he had his prescriptions with him and they didn't care. They just didn't care. Wow. That just makes no sense. That's absolutely ridiculous. So now what? She's not going to travel.
Well, I don't know. I think it would be a matter, well, she says for her in future, it's going to be Tiger Balm, and I'm going to make sure she gets some Sierra Sil spray because it's eucalyptus that permeates the tissue and gets to where knee pain, and for Rob, it's shoulder pain. He always smells like a delicious spa when he's on his way to hockey. Coming home's a different story. But yeah, so there are workarounds, but not with your cannabis or your CBD or your THC. It just cannot travel with you no matter where you're going. I mean, if you're going to Pottsville, USA, it still doesn't matter.
Well, have to stick with the opioids then.
Yeah, that's right. Or good old alcohol. Isn't it crazy? Just crazy.
It is.
Well, I don't know what they were on at Pantone when they chose the color for 2025, but it seems pretty universal that the Mocha Mousse is just not cutting it for some people.
No, it's like meh. It's like choosing black or something. It doesn't make sense to me
Right.
at all.
Yeah.
And this is a big deal in the world of color. So do you know what their thinking was?
Well, what they do is they choose the color to capture the zeitgeist. But it's also intended to serve as a cultural antidote. Okay, do you even remember what the color for 2024 was supposed to be?
It was peach something
Peach
because I
fuzz.
thought it was ugly. Peach fuzz. Okay, there you go.
What they do is they take the temperature, what's taking place in the world around us, and how does that get expressed in the language of color. So what they found was more and more people, what the world needs now is harmony and living a life of harmony and to feel grounded. So that's what they were thinking of when they chose Mocha Mousse.
Well, last year, didn't they, to put a fine point on it, poop the bed with their peach fuzz? Because it didn't catch on. It didn't seem to express anything except the 80s, man.
Yeah, it really did. Do you really know of any decorators or people that you follow who also follow Pantone and, this is their color Bible for the year, Lisa? Or is it?
Probably not. No, I
Yeah.
don't think so. But everybody makes a big hairy deal about it.
I know. And also, when we're looking at it on our devices, don't we all have our phones and our iPads and our laptops all set to different tints and brightness too?
Yeah.
Isn't it everybody seeing a different color? We couldn't even agree if the dress was blue or gold a few years
Yeah.
ago. So just do you. And if you do decide to do the color of the year, maybe try one wall or try it with throw pillows. You don't have to dive right in just because somebody says that this is, the color that is, right?
Well, I think I'm going to be late to the party and I'm going to do a room in peach fuzz.
Yeah, you are
It's
not.
your room.
Okay. I came across something else decor related, and you and I don't usually talk about decor because it is just such a personal thing. But have you heard the ugly rule?
No, and I'm hoping you will enlighten me because I didn't look into it on purpose. So tell me about it.
Well, what it is, and I know you're going to start looking around your rooms when you hear this because I have been doing it now as we rent this house for a few months. The ugly rule is every room needs something weird to make it pop.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. So on our fireplace mantle, we have a wooden hand, and the fingers move like knuckles that Derek found in a store in Rome, Italy.
Oh,
And that's definitely weird.
it is.
Would that fit?
Well, it sure can. I mean, most of us have more than one weird thing in the room if we're not counting our partners. You have to identify the right oddball object. If you see something you love, like Derek obviously did with the hand, buy it and you'll find a home for it. It can be something like a weird head statue, a bust of somebody. You don't even know who it is. It can be something from a different culture. In this house, I don't think, Lisa, you're allowed to have a house in this entire Coachella Valley in California without at least one litho fake of a Warhol, either Audrey Hepburn or Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, yeah.
It's just not allowed.
Yeah, it's the law. Right. Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but it's part of the zeitgeist down here, if you will. So other things can be just a weird painting or a print of a zany dog or a highly tactile kind of an object like a huge feather pillow or even a small one. Just something that gives you a little bit of joy but doesn't take over the room, but it's kind of like, might have been called a conversation piece in years gone by.
Right. So it's a little expression of your own personality.
Yeah.
Oh, I get that. Okay, that's kind of cool.
So that is the ugly rule. And I know in your home, you have all kinds of objects like that. And not, whoops, let's backtrack.
I said pardon?
Rude. No, not that you got ugly stuff, but you've got stuff that just pops because it's you, like an Eiffel Tower statue or
Yeah.
something reminiscent of
Yeah.
one of your favorite animals or favorite places, and that's great.
Yeah, we like stuff that has a story. That's just our thing. But not everything has a story. Sometimes you just need a couch, you know.
Sometimes those couches can tell stories. Ooh.
I hope not.
Oh my goodness. Another week, another word of the year. Are we almost out of dictionaries yet?
I don't know. What do we have this time?
Well, now we're up to the Merriam-Webster. And to me, after manifest and brain rot, the two previous entries from different dictionaries that we've brought up in weeks past, this year's, I think, is the one that sums it up the most. Much more than Mocha Mousse, my dear. It's polarization.
Yeah. And I'm sure a lot of Americans felt that during a very tense Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Polarization. It extends beyond those political connotations that you referred to. It's used to highlight fresh cracks and deep rifts alike in pop culture or tech trends and other industries as well. We were talking last week about advent calendars, and I remember mentioning a few times, whether it was about Chanel or you brought something up that people were outraged. What are we, if not outraged these days about everything?
It is a superpower, I think, to go through the day or through the week and not get outraged by something. Just let it happen. Just let it go. Because you're right. There is just outrage over everything. In my little village right now, there is an uproar over the fact that our visitor center is closed, how dare it, for the winter, but it's decorated for Christmas. Yeah.
Okay. Not getting this.
Neither am I. Because if it was open and nobody was going in, it'd be like, why are we wasting this money keeping this thing open? Yeah, people will find anything to get outraged about.
What's it being decorated for Christmas have to do with the price of beans in Boston? I don't get it.
I think because it's a municipal building, the person who started this, flamed this whole uproar, is concerned that our money is being spent on the decorations and to keep it decorated and lit up every night when you can't use it.
Right. But you're looking at it. You're enjoying it.
Yeah, it's just like, well, if we're going to bother doing that, we should have the bathrooms open and on and on and on. And it's like, if it was open and it didn't look busy, I never see anybody in the parking lot. What the hell do we have this open? You know what I mean? It's just so much noise. And it's that whole outrage thing. It's like, there's got to be something wrong. And damn it, I'm going to point it out to you.
It's always something. Okay, let me pose this to you as a bit of a devil's advocate. Is petty outrage, is it more healthy than what I do, which is look at the world falling down around us? Is it better to focus your outrage on the minutia and the stupidity?
It's all going to happen without our permission anyway. I don't know what's better. I only know what I could do and what I do for myself. I laugh at this stuff and I keep scrolling and I don't get into it. There was a time, though, Erin, when something like that would go up and I would make a comment and then just never look at the page again. So almost like firing an arrow into it and then running. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that's healthy either.
But it's fun at the moment.
Yeah. I find not commenting is even better because I have to stay out of it.
Yeah.
Next week, it's going to be something else.
Yeah. Hey, postal strike. I haven't received my armor yet for the war on Christmas. Are we still having one, or has that been called off this year for a distinct lack of interest?
That's another one that I saw. People keep posting. If it's Merry Christmas and not Happy Holidays, share this. It's like, oh my goodness. In my brain, my tiny, tiny little brain, I'm thinking, people only say happy holidays because they can't tell by looking at you what you celebrate. They're trying to be inclusive. They're trying to be nice. There's no war on Christmas. Just go away.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there's that manufactured outrage. And really, where would talk radio be without it? Ugh. Well, one of the things about talk radio, for better or worse, and you've done it, I have not, is being able to talk with the people who are hopefully enjoying what you're putting out every day. Some of them just call in to be angry.
And yet those are the frequent callers. But anyway, yeah, I know what you mean.
That's right. But instead, we get voicemails. And we got a good one from Julie, and she's active and an active listener. So let's give it a listen.
Hello, ladies. Julie here from Pickering, Ontario. I have loved your podcast from day one. Enjoy listening to the two of you chuckle away and the ease with which you talk about topics. A lot of them are near and dear to my heart as we're about the same age. I'm 61. And I love listening to you guys while I'm working out. I enjoy the time spent together and told many of my friends, please listen to this podcast. It's such a joy every Thursday, and I really look forward to it. I hope you ladies have a wonderful Merry Christmas. Thanks again. Have a great day.
Thank you so much for taking the time and spreading the word, Julie. We appreciate you. Lisa, I do have a question. If Julie is working out, listening to Gracefully and Frankly, do we get the extra steps on our Fitbits?
I wondered about that. She's not the only one who has said that, by the way. And I think working out, yes, I do believe we acquire half a step for every step she takes.
We appreciate it. And listen, you can ask us anything. You don't just have to say nice things. Ask us anything. Lisa's got the details on how you do that. It's super easy.
It's just like sending a message on Facebook through Messenger. So just open the little window, and instead of typing, you'll see a little microphone, and that will record you saying whatever it is you want to say. Fire it off, and that's how simple it is, and we're loving them. Thank you so much.
Sure, and if you or you or you make a mistake or whatever, we don't care. We're going to edit it. We'll take out all the bad stuff about us because, no, we won't. We won't. But just you be you, and we'd love to hear from you. So thank you for that. That's at Gracefully and Frankly Facebook page. So there you go. You got to take a trip with me and not pay a cent, not have a gummy. And again, as you say, if you can't be a good example, at least be a cautionary tale. And I think this week I was.
I also didn't get caught in Rob's arms, though.
Oh, my hero. It was scary for him, yeah.
I bet. Like Derek always says, if something happens to me, he's like, what am I going to have for supper? Anyway.
Get you right there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, our next show will be the last one of 2024, so we're going to bring it. There's going to be a musical ending, perhaps a kick line. We're not sure. It's going to be fun. So thanks for joining us for 104.
And thanks to Envy Pillow and Sierra Sil as well, of course, for being along on this wacky ride with us. And thank you, Erin. I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yes. Just say no, kids. Just say no. Bye.